Hello everyone, I'm DJ Mcree, headphone connoisseur. I'm going to continue to bring it up until someone in the comment section says something about that intro. But today we are checking out the OneOdio or OneOdio. Let me know in the comment section of how to pronounce this company correctly, but they're Studio Max 1 DJ wireless headphones. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing and then we'll talk about the build quality and assembly. Talk about that too. Here's the box and you can see clearly, it's plain as day that how the box looks like. It's a huge box, by the way. It has things like 2.0 ultra low latency. And how do we even get here? Because there's a lot of competition in this space. And I think a lot of people are starting to recognize, or at least the companies, that a lot of people are using wireless headphones and Bluetooth isn't enough just for music creation because of latency issues. You get this box here, and I'm going to move this humongous box out the way and show you the headphones here. They're slightly, in terms of build quality, they are durable. These don't feel like cheap headphones. You know what I'm saying? One thing I do like about it is the detailed look, and mind you, I always fight against embroidery or any kind of logo design on the headphones, but seeing that this is kind of like a vinyl record, they get a pass. And I actually like their logo too. And then you can see it has two 1/4" jacks on both sides, and you know, I understand what the assignment is at this point, and it charges via USB Type-C, and that's where I want to go into. One of the things about this unit is the battery life. The battery life of the Studio Max 1s are ranked at 120 hours, or that's what they said they are, and you know, we're gonna test that out. I mean, that's what we're here for. And then you also have, you know, 60-hour transmitter right here, and obviously this is a lithium-ion battery unit, and I like that for the company. Other things that you can expect in this package is this right here, and I believe this is like a manual or something, and I like it. I like how premium they're trying to approach these headphones. And by the way, thank you so much for allowing me to do a review on these, you know, but of course it doesn't influence what I think about these headphones. I'm going to give my honest, at least. You get this pouch, and you know, I would love a hard carry case, but I believe these headphones are very affordable, and you know, if you put in a hard carry case, the price will go up a little bit, right? And I did say last but not least, but you do get these wires. You get a USB Type-C, so USB Type-C to Type-A, and then you can also get the USB Type-C to Type-C. Now, I did see on the back of the unit that the frequency range is 20 hertz to 40 hertz, so that's fairly decent, if not above average for a pair of headphones. And then it says lithium-ion battery, of course, but the biggest thing that I took notice to is the driver size, and that is 50 mm. Oh boy, these things are big. If you want to use it wirelessly, you have two different ways, but the main one that I would use would be this right here with the wireless transmitter, and hooking it up is very simple. All you have to do is just hook it up to the device that you want to use your headphones wirelessly to. So you got to hook some audio up to it, run it through there. That's what I'm basically saying. And then you just hook up your USB Type-C to the unit and to whatever power source. Before we move on, I got to show you the headphones and where you could plug it up. If you want to plug it up directly into an audio interface or whatever you want, and you can do that. And I believe this port right here is the microphone port, so you can actually hook up a microphone to it if you want to look like a gamer, and I think that's pretty cool. You got a plus and minus sign. I'm pretty sure that's for volume, but it's a multi-purpose button right over here, so you turn it on, and then you can also tap and go into different functionalities once you turn these headphones on. So let's go ahead and turn on the transmitter. And then I'm going to pair it with these headphones by pressing this button. When you first turn on these headphones, you'll be greeted with a voice. And I think that's decent. I'm not mad at that. Some people just like a little small tone, but this has a voice. It will tell you that you powered it on. It will tell you the battery life. It will tell you all the information that you need to know. Like if you're in Bluetooth mode or if you're using the low latency transmitter. When I initially put these headphones on, my girlfriend told me that these headphones were large, and no kidding, they are definitely large, and not in a tacky way or anything like that. I do love the design of them, and when I'm speaking through the microphone, my voice sounds extra clear, which is a shocking it is a shocking revelation. Audio quality is amazing so far. I'm surprised. Extremely loud, so you might want to dial it back on your audio interface or whatever peripheral that you're using. But the weight of these headphones aren't overbearing. I think they're fairly weighted. You don't want your headphones to feel cheap on your head. If you know, you know when you're wearing a cheap pair of headphones. It's definitely in the build, bro. And these don't feel like any poor quality headphones at all. They feel very premium, and I think that's what they was aiming for. However, if I was to talk about how comfortable these headphones are on my head, they take over my ears. My ears are humongous, and they feel extremely comfortable on my head. I don't have a problem with them at all in terms of them wearing me out. This is well cushioned at the top here. The headband is well cushioned. You know, it doesn't feel like it's gonna hurt me after a few hours of listening to something with some headphones on. The sound quality with the MPC, I would say it sounds great. One thing I noticed was the whole entire instrument, whatever I was using, whether it was a bass drum, kick drum, bass line, playing a bass line, everything felt like it was well in my ears. And I guess that's the power of 50 millimeters of a driver versus something a regular standard is like 40 millimeters. And I found that to be the most astonishing thing when describing the sound, is that I could hear everything. I could hear every detail of the frequency, and I was not deterred by anything outside of probably the first at hand loudness before turning down the volume. And that doesn't have anything to do with them, more so me. The casual side of me enjoyed the headphones as well. Like when I watch stuff on YouTube or Netflix or something like that on my computer, yeah, I'm one of those people. I was immersed in the vibe of the movie or music or the commentary. I was able to understand every word, and I can't preach that enough, that sometimes when you're listening to something on headphones, something gets lost in translation, and it's something odd about the way these headphones are. I want to blame it on something, but these headphones are extremely clear. They deliver on clarity, but the big shocker is the price point. I thought these headphones were going to be at least $200, $300, but they're at $169.99 right now. I took a look on the website looking for a chart of some sorts, and there's no chart, but you know, they talk about the deep bass and stuff like that, which ironically, I don't think it's very deep in bass, as it is well balanced in clarity. But I can see that unlike other headphones that are out there, if you have bigger drivers, then yes, you will have a lower frequency response, a wider spectrum of sound. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this back to Bluetooth mode, and all you have to do is hit this B, and you should go back into Bluetooth mode. So press and hold B, and then you see it in blue, and then you see it connected to my phone. You know, if I press this button right here, which is the multitask button, so to show you some other functionalities of it, a plus and minus sign will control volume, of course. And you can see the volume slide back down, up, and then, you know, you can press the multi button again so that you can pause and unpause, which is typical. It's worth mentioning in Bluetooth mode only, you get a bass boosted mode or EQ mode, and you get double tap and it will bring that up. And then to switch tracks, you have to long press either plus or minus. My overall impressions of the Studio Max 1 wireless DJ headphones are these, as followed. Now, the first thing I noticed was the overall huge drivers. And when it came down to the huge drivers, I was like, I don't know. And you know, you can look at it on my head right now. I'm using them wirelessly, and I will tell you this, the audio quality is standing on business as far as I know. I've used it on a multiple amount of devices and tested it out for a couple of days now, and if not weeks, and I haven't found any issues. Now, of course, there are minor gripes, and I don't want people to think that I'm just shilling it up. You know, I don't know. But the first thing that I noticed in terms of functionality is you got to get used to pressing and holding the plus or minus signs to switch tracks. There is also a few other features like double tapping the power button or the multitask button that you can use that multifunctional button, mind you. I've been saying it wrong the whole entire video. That button, you need to press that in order to get to other features. But other than that though, I would find that just switching from Bluetooth to the wireless transmitter isn't as hard as it could be, because it's labeled in B and you'll see it and you'll know when you're hooked up to your Bluetooth device immediately. So I don't find any issue along with the buttons outside of things that you might have to read the instruction manual for. If you got to this point, well, you know about them, right? I gotta save the best for last somehow, baby. But let me know what you think about these headphones. Are they worth a shot? I mean, at $169, that's cheaper than my first pair of headphones for sure. And then the quality is matching that, if not better, in a lot of aspects.